These are one of the best kept secrets. This isn't available at Home Depot. This is designed for brake scoops. I'll link this in the description. But this has the wire all the way through it as opposed to the plastic. That way it will bend on itself. You can do anything with this stuff, and it keeps the diameter. In a past video, I talked about the Burt hatch getting sticky tires. We're gonna put those on. We got them back from Dave. We got some R888s. Well, also we need some brake cooling ducts. Trick is we're gonna take the bumper off and measure this, but this should be pretty close to the size of that scoop, and I'll show you what we have going on. Size in here is actually pretty close. Actually amazing how close that is. So one thing you got to look at is flip the bumper around, see how much room you've got. So this can all be cut out. Problem is, what I'm thinking, if you was to cut that out and fit that over there, we could change the angle of this to kick it down. The problem is coming out straight. We have our pump right here for the intercooler and hoses on the driver's side. Passenger side, we've got more room. So keep this in mind if you're running a front mount or some kind of contraption in the way. So that's kind of what we've got. So this is just kind of to bring this to your attention. I don't think we're going to be using these this time. We're going to have to custom build it. So I think we'll cut this out, and then we're going to fabricate some kind of aluminum piece and run our tube way off the side. It's always better to cut the minimal amount, and then you can kind of keep cutting. Don't cut in one go. First off, you can always cut more, you can't cut less. So we're thinking about keeping this as a main support. Might just take these two strips out right here. These are the two strips you can see from the back side. Should be fairly easy just to kind of scribe and cut this and join this, see what it looks like. So let me do that first. We'll get an idea of how much opening we have. This is what it looks like with a rough cut right here, leaving this piece in this upper part. And it's got a ridge here which we can still cut out. I just wanted to see what it looks like, and it looks kind of too small. Our diameter is 2.5 inch for our tube. We want at least 3 times that to catch incoming air. So if we can have basically a scoop, you know, roughly 3 times that diameter, is going to channel more air into the brake. So we need more opening than that in the vent. See, we have a guideline here, so what we'll do is measure down maybe about 1/8 all the way around and keep that. This is the top, so you don't see this as much. You're going to kind of see it from this angle, but either way you want it to look decent if you're going to cut that out. So let's clean this up a little bit, come back and see what it looks like. It's got a little bit of a cleaner look now. Still think it needs a bit more, but it kind of gives you an idea. It looks, you know, uniform with the grill here, and having this gives it some support. Leaving this lip in here also gives it a bit more of a factory look there. I think I'm going to measure back and take that lip off just so you don't see that. Cut it back maybe 1/8 of an inch. Then from here, I think what we need to do is to build a custom scoop, kind of bring it back this way. If we can keep our tube kind of close to this, it'll come around and go into our brake. But now we've got a decent wide opening. We're just got to build essentially a manifold to go over here to a 2.5 inch opening. So we're building the brake scoops for the hatch. This is what we're doing to the back of the OEM rotor. This is the easiest way to do it. So we're forcing air in here. We're running the tubes up to the scoop here. We've got a 3-to-1 ratio, so we're basically using air velocity. Obviously 3-to-1, we're forcing a higher volume of air in here. It's going to push the heat out of the rotor It's something that pretty much all of the sports cars have. You'll see any kind of track use. It's the first thing you do, and it's not even about really cold air. It's just about pushing that hot air away. We're also going to change the pads, because when we built this originally, we put OEM pads in here. So we're going to have to go with a slightly higher heat pad. Not sure of the brand yet. Maybe do a Hawk HPS is what we like to do. This one is the easy side. We don't have a reservoir, so we'll leave this one to last. But everything is good under here. Engine package is great. We just need, obviously, an alignment, and we should be able to do a little bit of testing. Making more throttle body packages, just wanted to kind of give you an idea how this looks. If you have a Jackson supercharger, you kind of know what this looks like. Well, the supercharger would be here. If you have the conventional throttle body, your cable is coming up through here somehow, and usually have a bracket that bolts across here. For one, it changes the feel of the throttle body. To this, if you have the Type R style, it has a wheel, and the wheel usually wears out. If you have anything else, this cable kind of goes straight up, and then it has to make this bend, and it rubs the hood. If you do our supercharger manifold, the end tank comes off here about 35 millimeters, and it's going to get right in the way of this cable. So if you buy our throttle body package, it comes with a 70 millimeter throttle body, the LHT bracket, and the throttle body is designed to work like this, and we include a brand new Honda cable. So now this is much cleaner, and your throttle works the way it's supposed to, but you got a lot better profile. This cable is a much lower profile. Instead of going straight up and making that bend, it's got that nice gradual curve, makes it much cleaner, much easier, better throttle action. Everything works like it should do. So I'm gonna put these in the store. This is obviously a perfect addition to the LHT intake manifold, or even any other package that we offer. It does work with our Billet S Tube. So the way our throttle body is gonna come to you, it'll be a throttle body with the LHT billet bracket. This is made in the USA. It's not a cheesy piece. It's high quality OEM Honda throttle cable that's modified to work with the application. The throttle body is already set, so it's not going to stick, and as it returns to a steel pin. It's not going to start wearing out like the aluminum ones with the aluminum cog here. We've tried so many throttle bodies over the years. So when you're getting your throttle body from us, you're going to put your TPS on here. But you're going to set this, if you're using a voltmeter, I would set it at 0.56 volts is the way I set it. If you're running your Honda data logger, your Honda logger, whatever you're using, I would set this between 0 and 1%, closer to 1%. That means it's right on the verge of obviously showing voltage. You don't want to have it at 0. I found that it will actually move a little bit before it starts to read 1%. So I would adjust this and get it where it's just about to click over to 1%, and then lock it down and test it. That way you'll have perfect drivability, crisp, snappy throttle control. So there it is. I'll go ahead and put these in the store right now. I've already ordered more, but for right now, I've only got 6 throttle body packages that are in the store as of now.
Was the speedometer working before when the VSA code come on?
No, it quit.
Okay, because it was working, and then the code came on when I went down Christmas Street.
Okay.
And it shut the car down. I turned the car off. I checked with my Honda, and it said there was no codes. I clicked clear anyways, restarted the car, and I looked that time like, oh, the speedo's working. And it's worked since, but I mean, that's only from his street to here, and it basically happened from here to his street, so it should be about now before it cuts out again.
I'm gonna do the alignment stuff.
Oh yeah, it feels wonky. Like when you're getting on it in second, you can kind of feel that it's...
All right, let me have a go. I gotta drive it now with the new tires. Wow, this little thing is fast. So I'm not getting any kind of brake fade. I mean, we're still running the factory pads, which are kind of a crappy pad, but brakes are holding up fine. Boost is solid. This thing rocks. This is awesome. So giving it a visual after running it down the street hard, making sure our hose isn't interfering anything and we're not rubbing. We put a bit of an oval here for more tire clearance with a bit wider tire. This is what it looks like over here. So we're actually making this a wider area so it pushes the air away. Don't just push it straight on the rotor, it actually forces the air away. And everything checks out, everything is looking good. This works. We have a pretty decent scoop right here. Can't really see with it in this light. IATs never got over 120. We're just running it up and down the street and we both kind of went back to back with it. So different pads, they're on the way. We've got to put those in. We've got to finish the catch can. The VSS light keeps coming on occasionally. It's got to be wiring because we just changed and put a different VSS in there. This is the one that was in it. We just put a spare and it still does it. So it's got to be in the wiring. Speedo kind of comes and goes, so it could be something to do with it. But so far everything is looking pretty good. Years of doing this is still exciting to me. If you followed LHT, some of you guys that have followed us for 20 plus years kind of know us from the Jackson Racing Superchargers. It's like the more later generation knows us from the S2000. This is kind of where I started. I was fascinated with putting the supercharger on the B series back in 96, I think it was. I opened an account with Jackson Racing in 96. I took this thing to the limit. I blew up superchargers, I overheated them, I had ways of trying to make power. I made about 5 different intercoolers. Right now I believe we have almost the perfect package, if not the perfect package. Fantastic intercooler. This is an absolute must. The more RPMs you spin this, the more heat, the less power, the more peristaltic loss. Kind of ends up being diminished returns after a while. We have the perfect intercooler now. The Billet S Tube, not only does it fit nicer, it flows better, you got room all the way around here. We have our throttle body package, which I showed you earlier, gives the throttle perfect feel, and it's low profile, it's not sticking up, it's not binding. It's got a lot of room around our intercooler. And then of course the latest addition, these GripTec pulleys. Again, I'll try and link some pictures. I developed a 5-rib pulley system for these. Cost me a fortune. Couldn't get the belts. I ended up having to get custom made belts. I ended up with like $800 in a pair of pulleys and a belt. And at that time I was trying to get in the market. I was selling them for 600 bucks. It was costing me 800. Talk about a terrible business decision. These GripTec pulleys completely changes the belt system. Nice 4-rib belts, no slipping, no issues, perfect alignment. We've ran this thing to 8,800 RPMs. Like I've said in the description, this is designed to run the supercharger to its max safe RPM. You do run a ITR/B16 crank pulley, which is the same size. One, it's the lightest pulley, it's got the better balance from the factory, it's the most common, and you're not running really tiny pulleys. We're running a 3.7 up here, which gives us plenty of belt wrap. Not to mention, with the proprietary GripTec finish on the pulleys, no belt slipping. This is a complete game changer. If you're remotely into superchargers for the Jackson Racing Upgrades B Series, this is it. I'm so excited about this. I can't tell you how many years I've been doing this, and I feel like we've got the perfect package now. So the first batch of pulleys sold out in 4 hours. So by the time you saw this video, they're already sold out. Go ahead and click in the store and say notify me when back in stock. As soon as they're available, you can buy them. We did put an order in right away. Also, we have 10 more S tubes coming. So this stuff is expensive stuff, and of course with supplier issues, machine shops are slow, people are not working as much as they used to. It's taken a while to get the stuff, but be patient. I'm trying to bring all the best stuff to you guys. I'm passionate about this stuff, and I'm basically selling you the stuff that I buy myself. I wouldn't sell you something I wouldn't buy. That's a philosophy I've had since day one. I don't want to sell it just because it's profitable. Some of these parts are not that profitable, but I believe they're the best, and that's all I want to sell. I want to share the stuff that I'm excited about, and obviously you guys are too. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Don't forget, enjoy your supercharged cars.